Jonathan Jones, CBS Sports, right across from, he still has that sort of new coach, new car smell to him. Jesse Minter with the Baltimore Ravens. Jesse, great to meet you. Thanks for coming on and doing this.
Appreciate you having me on.
Yeah. So I know everyone's asking about Lamar. I want to ask you about, though, the Baltimore Ravens, first of all. You've been in this job how many days now? Should we say 50 or so? 40?
I don't even know. I've lost count.
Yeah.
January 22nd, 23rd,
okay. All right,
roughly.
We'll call it a month. Then what's taken up the most time in your first few weeks? Has it been culture? Is it staff? Is it roster evaluation, scheme installation? What's taken up the most time this month?
I think it's a blend, honestly. Certainly, like, initially the staff is a really important piece. So that was a 2-week job, I would say, trying to get that together. Once you get particularly for me, once I got Declan as the offensive coordinator, we were kind of able to work on the offensive staff together. The defensive staff was sort of piecing along as we went, and was also being patient with Anthony Weaver as he was going through some things himself, which was cool.
Your defensive coordinator
Our defensive coordinator now. So went well. I feel like we got a great staff. And then along those lines was communication with players, starting to lay a foundation of an identity of how we want to operate. And then now that we've gotten everybody together over the last couple weeks, it's shifted over to the scheme side of things and putting our systems in place and creating systems that best utilize what we have in Baltimore.
Yeah.
So it's been a great month or whatever it's been. It's been great up to this point.
You say establishing an identity without saying, Jesse, we want to play Raven football, and without saying we want to play smart, fast, physical football. What is that identity that you're establishing?
I think for us, it's a really connected team that, and people say that, but it's building really strong relationships and care for each other.
What does that mean? Does that mean going out on bowling trips?
No, I really think like communication is critical, and so you can say that you want to get to know people, and then you can actually get to know people, and you can listen to them and hear their stories, understand how they've gotten to this point, what it is that makes them go. I think the more you know about people, the more you can coach them, honestly.
Yeah.
And you care about what's going on in their life outside of football. And so we want to do that as a staff. We want our players to do that with each other. And then, we certainly want to play to our players' strengths. And I do think, you mentioned the Raven way. And so there's an identity as a team that we want to play complementary football. We want the offense and defense special teams to work hand in hand. We don't want to be a defensive team or an offensive team. We want to be both.
Yeah.
And so I don't think you have to decide that. We want to build what we consider to be the best defense in the NFL. We want to build what we consider to be the best offense in the NFL.
Yeah.
We want to build the best special teams unit in the NFL. And I think we're just working to do that every day.
It's a defensive head coach, and you're going to call the defensive plays. As I was preparing for this interview, I was thinking back to the last 2 Super Bowl champions, who, in the Eagles and the Seahawks, who very clearly were led by defense, who, the math sort of changes when you can win by rushing forward.
That's right.
Right? And so for you, how do you maximize, especially your interior defensive line play, so that it allows the back end to kind of play that shell coverage? Like, how do you do that, like what these teams have done?
Yeah, I mean, it's all about, like, your identity, your philosophy. Right now, I would say the best teams can put a lot of resources into coverage and eliminate explosive plays, take the offense out of rhythm in the passing game, while being able to manage the run game with, at times, less resources.
Right.
So I think it's how you coach those guys. It's their ability. I think we have a great interior D-line group there in Baltimore. And so really look forward to jumping in and teaching them how we want them to play. Our edge guys as well. And then when you get to where those guys can tee off on passing downs, whether you're rushing 3, 4, 5, 6, like when you play to your strengths and play to get them in those situations, I think the guys can play with a lot of confidence.
Lamar, I know you've gotten a lot of questions about him, and I think I saw you from the podium yesterday say, we're going to keep our conversations private, which, of course, I respect. What has been something, because you were there when they drafted him,
I
right?
was, yep.
How is Lamar different from the Lamar that you first met to the Lamar that you now meet with, who is involved in your hiring process?
I think there's a lot of similarities in a sense that this guy's an elite competitor. He's really an unbelievable teammate. He cares a ton about the team's success. He cares a ton about other players' individual success. He I think he'd rather see a guy make a great play than sometimes even himself make a great play.
Is that right?
And he loves to celebrate those guys. That part hasn't changed. I feel like he's always kind of been that way. That's just kind of who he's always been since he was playing in Pop Warner, honestly. I think he's just, evolved and become a really good quarterback that can do all the different things. I think now it allows you to build an offense that makes him a really good quarterback and not necessarily, a guy that, he can run and do this, but we want him to be a great quarterback first. He's proven that he's done that the last couple of years. And, we're excited to build an offense that takes advantage of Lamar.
What will this offense look like? How different will it be from the offenses we've seen the past couple of years?
I think there'll be some differences, but I also think, like, right now, we're in literally maybe the second week, third week of building the offense. And so I think it'd be crazy not to look at some of the things that they've done well and pull from those while also bringing in, Declan Doyle, bringing his identity, our Dwayne Ledford, our offensive line coach, bringing in his identity. So I think there'll be some differences. Maybe playing under center some and letting the run game, letting Derrick Henry get downhill and run the football, building a lot of plays off of plays, I think is what we're going to try to do. But that's going to be a great, fun process, up between now and our first game in September to build a great offense.
Because you're a defensive head coach, I asked this question to you. What gives your defenses issues that your offense can take advantage of?
Yeah, that's always like an interesting thing, right? When you become a head coach, it's like, let's just create an offense that has everything that's always given us problems. But I think the offenses that are very systematic, that make a lot of different things in their offense look the same, and so you're not able to maybe pinpoint, hey, this formation, you're going to get this, the action of plays set up 4 or 5 different major concepts. And so that's what I really enjoyed watching Chicago's offense, Detroit before that with Ben, and I think he's obviously an elite offensive mind, head coach, play caller, had a great first year. But just the way that they operate, setting things up and having things off of things, I think as a defensive coach, that gives you the less predictability of maybe what's coming pre-snap.
You mentioned Ben, and he made plenty of noise because he's bringing rivalries back to the NFL, right? He doesn't like the Packers, and he's upfront about it. Do you buy into that? Like, do you hate the Steelers now? Like, do you want to are there rivalries for you?
I don't want to lose to anybody in our division.
Do you hate them?
So yeah, I hate them in a sense. Like, I respect the rivalry, and of course, like when I was here prior, Mike Tomlin, who's a mentor of mine, like there's a high level of respect for the Steelers, their organization, how they operate. Bengals, their organization, how they operate. Cleveland, their organization, how they operate. At the same time, those are the teams you need to beat to be successful. So there's just I would say just a higher level of priority on those teams when you operate, when you're building your systems. It's to be able to win those games. That's what we kind of did defensively in L.A. You got to build a system to beat the Chiefs and the Broncos and the Raiders. We got to do the same thing now.
Last question for you, Jesse. When it comes to your relationship with Lamar, I'm curious. I think everyone's curious. Do you text, do you call, or do you FaceTime with him? What's the preferred method of communication?
I'd say there's a multitude of ways. There's a combination. Relationships just take time and take energy and take a commitment to want to build. And so I've been just super grateful that he's wanted to build a relationship and that we've had some good amount of communication, and really look forward to that, just keep going and going and going.
There you go, the new face of the Baltimore Ravens, Jesse Minter. Thanks so much.
Appreciate that.